Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
Welcome to this week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley speaking to you from Washington, D.C., and this is our program being taped on the 12th of December. It's 12/12 today, and the first broadcast is going to be on the 13th, and that means St. Lucy's Day. St. Lucy's Day, the 13th of December. Last week we had the St. Nicholas Day program. Now we have St. Lucy's Day, big holiday in Italy, but also in Scandinavia, above all. Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, Finland, Norway, all these places. Big holiday, and a very welcome one at that. But now we have to deal with the ugly realities where we are here in Washington, D.C. And this gets us to the cromnibus, a budget crisis which came, for the average person, I would venture to say, more or less out of nowhere. And we are still on the edge of a shutdown of the U.S. federal government. And equally, or perhaps more important for the long run, we're now beginning to sort out the various factions. And we're going to see in action who is a leader, who is strong, who is good, who's a traitor, who's a hypocrite, who's a faker. And you're going to see who it is. And I have to tell you, we're very critical of Elizabeth Warren. We have got her number. She's a faker, and her leadership is not any good. And you're going to see just in the past couple of days how much we've seen of this. So the cromnibus combines a continuing resolution, in other words, a simple extension of last year's budget into this year or to the coming year, fiscal year, the fiscal year we're now in, which is FY 15. We're already in it. We have been since October 1st. And an omnibus spending bill. So it's a catch-all, grab bag, everything goes in there together on the basis of a continuing resolution. And what Boehner and the Republicans were offering was a cromnibus that would take the government to September 30th, to the end of FY 15, with the exception of the Homeland Security budget. The Republicans, in their frenzy for self-destruction, their racist, bigoted, xenophobic excesses, they want to be able to have a fight about the Obama halt to deportations. They want to stage that fight sometime in February, right, around St. Valentine's Day, I would guess, or something like that. So therefore, that funding would run out. And of course, it's ridiculous, right? These xenophobes, they're supposed to be so worried about terrorism and so worried about the border, and they're going to cut the funding to that. But that's the way it works, and that's fine. Hurry them fast to their doom. Remember that the strategic outlook here is the difference between Republicans and Democrats is that the Republican Party needs to be destroyed first. It needs to be destroyed in place, based on the fact that it's demographically doomed, ideologically doomed too, demographically doomed, and the Democratic Party needs to be split. And the split we're talking about is a split between open, blatant Wall Street Democrats on the one hand, and on the other hand, this confused gaggle of people who would say that they're from the New Deal, or they're pro-labor, or they're populist, or they're anti-Wall Street, or Occupy maybe even. But, of course, they have no program and they have no direction. They don't know what they're doing. And this is what it's up to us to provide. And, of course, if you're sick of Democrats at any point, you should try the Tax Wall Street Party, because that is the catalytic force that is going to get these developments going. Now, it turned out that in the 1,600 pages of this rather large bill, there are a couple of extremely offensive things, and above all, the idea that a provision of the Dodd-Frank bill is going to be rolled back. The Dodd-Frank bill, of course, notable for its pathetic weakness, toothlessness, and its many, many years of enactment. In other words, the provisions don't kick in right away. It takes quite a few years for them to kick in. So the idea now is that under the new Cromnibus, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is going to reacquire liability to bail out zombie banks that have engaged in derivatives speculation. Probably credit default swaps, but not only. So the FDIC will be on the hook for the losses of these banks. Citibank and JP Morgan Chase are prominently mentioned. Goldman Sachs also. They're all considered banks now since 2008. And so the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation will have to pay if Citibank blows itself up with derivative speculation and credit default swaps. FDIC has to pay. What does that mean? FDIC has some money in it. Sure, it has a trust fund. That comes from a fee that is paid by the banks, but that will be exhausted very quickly when the tremendous loss multiplying exponential loss power of these derivatives kicks in. So at that point, the Congress will have to provide money from the general revenue of the United States. So this is a whole new bailout. And the difference with this one is this is a bailout that would not have to be voted in the moment of the panic, when I think a lot of people would say, no, not a second time, no more bailouts for you. You go down, zombie bankers, and you hedge fund hyenas too. This would be automatic because it would be put in place earlier, i.e. now, if they get their way. So this essentially takes us back. It throws out all the lessons of the 2008 crash, which was, of course, a world derivatives panic, not so much subprime mortgages. That's trivial. World derivatives, 1 to 2 quadrillion, 1,000 trillion of derivatives in notional value were going down. So this became known, and a lot of bad feeling then resulted. Elizabeth Warren came forward. This is the new senator from Massachusetts. We've been following her closely, and said that she urged the people in the House of Representatives, the Democrats there, to vote against it because this was a provision written by Citibank lobbyists, and we have got reports that Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase was calling individual members of Congress, cajoling them, bribing them, in effect. Right? You want to become a JP Morgan Chase executive after your time in office? Well, that's what we can imagine is going through their heads, if not out of Dimon's mouth. So that was then put up for a vote last night, and it passed by 6 or 7 votes. Let us also point to the fact that Obama and Biden made telephone calls to Democratic members of the House of Representatives telling them, vote for this bill. And I think he got a total of 57 Democrats to vote for the bill. Boehner, the reactionary leader, lost 67 members of his own caucus. This is partly Tea Party and other extreme right-wing fanatics in the Republican Party didn't want to vote for this for other reasons. A lot of them said it didn't defund Obamacare. It didn't attack immediately on the xenophobic anti-immigrant front. Other problems that they had with it. Obviously, these Republicans did not object to the idea of opening the door wide to Citibank and the other zombie banks getting their hands into the FDIC. And that's funny because that was one of the original issues of the Tea Party. Right? The Tea Party was supposed to be anti-bailout. This time, back in a minute.
Alex Jones here. For the last 2 years, I've been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to design a nutraceutical formulation that has truly life-changing health benefits. So many other formulations out there contain toxic ingredients, synthetic additives, and even GMOs. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Now is the time to secure Ancient Defense for you and your family. Visit InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Adam Miller here with Midas Resources. Today, December 12th, 2014, gold opened at $12.1660. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $12.6134, $6.3067 for a half ounce, or $3.1533 for a quarter ounce. That's $12.6134, $6.3067, and $3.1533.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
What looks good under your Christmas tree and tastes even better? Big Berkey water filters. Yes, the gift of clean water. A gift that provides a great foundation for achieving good health in the lives of your loved ones. A Big Berkey water filter gives them protection from bacteria, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, pesticides and herbicides, VOCs and more. And best of all, a Big Berkey water filter is a gift that lasts for many years with no additional investment. And that saves time and money in filter replacements that other water filters require and are even powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. As always, all orders over $50 are shipped free, and GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Order online at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com, spelled Big, B-E-R-K-E-Y, waterfilters.com, or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Gift well this Christmas. Give a Big Berkey water filter.
Do you have relatives and friends that are convinced there is no need ever to prepare for any kind of emergency? Are these also folks you buy Christmas presents for? At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we can solve both of these problems at the same time. Go to 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. We can ship your Christmas presents directly to them. Choose from our original $99 30-day food supply, our long-term storage vegan burger mixes, and other oatmeal, soups, porridges, beans, and granolas for everyday use. All products are non-GMO, MSG-free, and vegetarian. Most are gluten, soy, and nut-free. Call 541-229-0010 today. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low, cutting out the middleman by buying directly from their producers in Oregon. Remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com. Call 541-229-0010. 30dayfoodsupply.com, 541-229-0010.
We are America's largest independently owned communications network, GCN.
So the Cromnibus passed last night on its bipartisan vote. It was Pelosi